To the host of this animation challenge, pretty weird. Wait a sec. Pretty please stop watching this video right now, or else it'll spoil my entry. It's International Women's Day! A lot of my subscribers are here because of the Ruby content I made. The only reason I made that Ruby content was because I wanted to participate in these animation challenges. I'm happy that I participated in these two challenges, but then the host decided to make animation challenge number 3. In brief, the challenge is to create an original character, either from an existing franchise or from the participant's own homebrew story. But only one character per participant is allowed. This means I can't make a new Ruby team because that's normally 4 people, not 1. I did narrow my choice down to 4 characters, and I noticed that all these characters are women. Then I had an idea. The rule is, there can be only one OC. And since these 4 characters are women, I decided to make this video and tell you, my beautiful subscribers, yes, that's what I meant to say, you can vote for which of these characters should be the entry for animation challenge number 3. First, observe the entries as they're meant to be submitted. With all this money, I'm set for life! No money! Come back! Come back! Come back! The cover is finished! With each spell I make, it'll magically appear in my spellbook. I'll have my own magic spellbook. Eee!
The mighty hunter has cornered her prey.
Hello, Rags. How goes that job on 3rd and Center? Is it happening? What? No, that won't do. I call the shots around here, sport. I didn't build this company up from scratch just to let mutts like you tell me how to run it. When I say jump, you ask through how many hoops. That building is coming down today or at your tail. Got it?
You notice that none of them reference the Ruby franchise. That's because it never crossed my mind. None of these characters are from my Best Friends series either. I didn't want to use any of those characters for the challenge. I want to save them for the series. For the honor of International Women's Day, and in gratitude for winning the right to vote, make your vote count. Who will be the entry for Animation Challenge number 3? Will you vote for Winnie Peg, the Red Wizard, Veron Blanc, Iris Caragan, I see, Shewolf. If you are not one of my subscribers, then shame on you! Scratch that. I think you can still vote. The link to the poll should be in the description. Feel free to leave a comment about which is your favorite character, and which is your least favorite, and why. I'm curious. I want to know. FYI, if you're a guy, you can still vote. This isn't for women only. It's for people who are interested. This is the part of the video where you toss and turn, begging to fall asleep as you listen to my nagging, nasally, feminine voice. I'm going into more detail about these characters. Winnie Peg is a fun one, because she's a sentient pirate pegleg. She's named after the capital of Manitoba, Winnipeg. There's a bear paw on her hat because of Winnie. Not Winnie the Pooh. I'm talking about the real bear that inspired Winnie Pooh. A hunter killed a mama bear, leaving her baby bear alone and in the grips of the hunter. Then Lieutenant Colburn purchased the bear from the hunter. Lieutenant Colburn called the baby bear Winnie Peg, after his hometown, Winnipeg, Manitoba, and made her the regimental mascot. The lieutenant took Winnie with him as he and the troops went to England to fight in the Great War. World War I. He had to leave Winnie behind while he fought in France. Luckily, Winnie was kept safe in the London Zoo until her death. Before she died, Milne, is that how you pronounce his last name? Saw Winnie at the zoo, the London Zoo, and was inspired to make a series of children's books about a teddy bear named Winifred Pooh. That name was his son's idea. That's why there's a bear paw print on Winnie's pirate hat. The red, blue, green, and gold colors are in reference to the Manitoba tartan. Yes, every province and territory has a tartan. I wonder if there are any flannel shirts with all 13 plaid patterns. That'd be cool. No, it'd be nice and warm. Don't you just love how Winnie has earrings and yet has no ears? Just like Betty Boop. For some reason, Winnie just doesn't feel complete without that gap in her teeth. Making a pun character is typical of artists, which is why I designed this, but making a dolled-up female character, I was never comfortable with. Mostly because it's boring making a pretty girl character. It's too easy. You just copy what's already been done. There's no fun, no challenge. Yet, I wanted to doll this character up. Eyeshadow, sculpted eyebrows, luscious, shiny lips, big dangling earrings. Oh my god, she's so thin, I hate her. And of course, she had to be a pirate. Now, Winnie Peg has a sidekick. Best friend. She has a best friend. Her name is Maple Sugar Moose. And together, they define all that is Canada. One word at a time. That's the synopsis of the story. It's like when you're given a creative writing project in class, and the teacher gives everyone the same subject to write about. The fun is, what kind of story does everyone make when they must write about the same subject? Example, everyone in class is supposed to write about a brain. One person writes about a brain surgeon on the job trying to fix someone's brain. Another person might write a heart-wrenching story about someone being involved in a terrible accident that gave them a serious brain injury. Another person writes about an alien brain from outer space invading Earth. Another person could write about the aftermath of Scarecrow in his brain and how they're always fighting each other. Another person writes about a student chef struggling to create the caramelized calf brains recipe. Another person could write about a brain who was raised by peanuts. Or someone writes about how the abnormal brain ended up in the laboratory for Igor to steal and bring to Dr. Frankenstein. You get the idea. Winnie Peg and Maple Sugar Moose define all that is Canada, and each episode is focused on one weird Canadian word. Just imagine an episode all about poutine. Maybe Winnie and Maple will fight against a poutine kaiju. Oh no, what if they made the poutine kaiju? I call this series Big Red Zed. I'm not going to explain too much about this character or her story. Let's just say I'm using all 6 colors. Yes, I said all 6 colors instead of 7, for there are only 3 secondary characters, 3 secondary colors, and 3 primary colors, whereas there's an infinite number of tertiary colors. The primary colors are 1, 2, 3, red, yellow, and blue. The secondary colors are 1, 2, 3, orange, purple, and green. The tertiary colors are everything else, mauve, turquoise, and pink. There's only one wizard among the 6 characters. This is meant to be a comic for girls. No lessons to learn, no morals or messages, other than buy the merch. This is just meant to be a fun, silly, escaping comic series for girls. In the manga format. Not the art design, just the format. I won't even tell you the title. Largely because the title is a work in progress. This is an odd duck. And I'm pretty, weird dog. What inspired this character was a meme. Or tweet. I don't know what it is, but it went something like this. Why is the chosen one always a teenager? We're really going to put the fate of the universe on someone with an undeveloped prefrontal cortex? Give me a story with a chosen one who is a 42-year-old mom that has seen some quack and is totally out of quacks to give. Are you telling me you want the chosen one to potentially be a Karen? I thought, why stop there? Why not have a chosen one times 4? They're all in their 40s, but they're not named Karen. Their names rhyme with Karen. That's why this character is named Veron. Any smart person would know something's wrong here, because this looks like a little girl, not a serious, hairy, jaded, battle-weary mum. I don't know why, but I wanted to age Veron down for this animation challenge. Maybe I was afraid of spoiling the story or something. The youngest age she is here is 11 years old. The world building for this is urban fantasy, with everyone in the Americas being an indigenous person or a Viking, inspired by the concept of, what if the Vikings stayed in the Americas? There are a lot of videos out there speculating on the subject, and I thought that'd be a kick-ass setting for the story. Except Veron here looks like a cowgirl. The only Viking thing about her are her shoes and a little bit of her shirt collar. Here's a funny thing. The Métis were, and are known, for being a mix of indigenous people, the Scots and the French. In the How to Train Your Dragon movie, many of the Vikings had Scottish accents. So if my IP gets a big budget and streams, you can imagine the Vikings sounding very Scottish. Wait a sec. There's a famous Viking series called Asterix, and the original language for that series is French. Then the Vikings in my IP would sound Scottish and French? But that comic is not French, it's Belgian. This is getting silly. Not least, the token OC from an existing franchise, called Sons of Butcher. Stop right there. This is an adult animated series. Hang on a minute. Has anyone done a video essay of Sons of Butcher yet? Sons of Butcher is about Saul Butcher, Ricky Butcher, and Doug Borski. Saul Butcher inherited the butcher shop his daddy managed. His little brother, Ricky Butcher, doesn't want to be a butcher. He wants to be a rock star. Meanwhile, Doug works as a janitor in the butcher shop. This was a big deal in Canada during its time. So much so, the three leads organized a national rock tour. Yes, they really played real instruments, as well as ran the animated show. 2 seasons, 26 episodes. I think they're trying to reboot it right now. I'd like to imagine this character hired Saul to cater a big event she's hosting, and Ricky barges in to be the entertainment, impressing or annoying the bigwigs attending the event. And Doug has a rivalry with a female janitor, Le Gasp! And the rival female janitor's mission is to bring this Shewolf down. Again, I don't like making pretty girl characters because it's boring. Yet I decided to go all out in making this character pretty, oh so pretty. I purposefully gave her ears with no earrings, in contrast to Winnie Peg. How do you like those god-awful murderous shoes she's wearing? They're pretty and painful, which makes them perfect. I wasn't sure how much cleavage she should be showing. I thought it'd be funny if it was a tiny bit, even though her bosoms are big. By the way, that is not a mole or a piercing on her chin. That is a dimple. An itty-bitty crevasse. It's like the chin had a dream to be a cleft chin, and all I got was a dimple. My favorite part is her hairdo. This is a French row, complete and loaded with a pair of Bowie knives. Can you imagine in this episode, Saul's looking for a knife to cut the meat, and he's like, found one, and just removes it from Iris's hairdo? Another scene involves Ricky on stage, about to rock. Then Iris throws her knife at the neck of Ricky's guitar, cutting all the strings. Then Iris demands to know what the hell Ricky's doing. Then Ricky's all mixed feelings about how badass that was. But she ruined his mighty shredding axe, how dare she! Climax of the story is where the rival janitor goes kung fu fighting with Iris. Not a cat fight, it's a proper kung fu fight. But then Iris pulls a knife and kills the rival janitor. With her last dying breath, the rival janitor calls for Doug to avenge her. Will Doug avenge his rival? Will Rocky rig this event, bring down the house and raise the roof? Will Saul get any more customers for his meat? Will Ms. Iris Caragan Shewolf see the error of her ways? And that's all. Don't forget to vote for one of these female characters, for there can be only one in Animation Challenge number 3. I think I should do this again, except with male characters for International Men's Day, just for fun. See you then. Luscious shiny lips, luscious shiny lips, luscious shiny lips, luscious shims.